Abusia for nsɛm akwa be Amanyosem wedi na gusu ahwe no Friday atentam penyefo agye omedwa na yebebɔ nkɔmɔ me kan say WhatsApp number on the screen so also wetimi akyerɛ wadwen ade afa so send message na as many time you want nemo send bia no a na wodi udi no ba bia send messages ni free ba na be kan ho na yetimi akenkan ade ama ne penyefo a wo fidie mo yebetwetwe nkɔmɔ me send fa so yewra ya asanita no a political analyst do shem finfin yewra eye Jonathan Adams ono na yesamfo penyima da bo krata na sensentu adwuma 24news.news sanso opinion chefugwe enua Charles Makato esamfo penyi edema the Hawk newspaper bedwafo mama kwaba
Sami bibia bokode
na mi adom
no brady on hwa efepa
ana wona be wo no asha white
I say white dey mo dey mean say dey bia me share white and then can white as mo dey kosi baby ana
e fata so pa
baby sawasem se wo kan white asem agosi baby na Makati ozre aye
most at times go for say celebrity bibia no
you want to be bold
also Jonathan Pesi Ebeka say oni Kenuforata share white into no adi issue neighbor opia to na is what can we year
already my celebrity IMF na
on say there was a time your first lady bia of a contested sitting president also something like that or flag bearership nana konedo and then the slogan here be bold and I'm just saying say who can't be beer just be bold and say it okay. Yes I mean say be white
okay
because I normally can be here with white
okay but then I draw my attention pa
okay oh Matthias
all right that's it
me the usual Ghana form of pretend veterana and bibia boko na ese and bibia boko the reality is that bibia anya boko and obienim o se omani mu ayehye obia ditum se kromu ha emu ayeden what I say abrabo na ayeden enye se ya kwadrofo we are not lazy people. We are people. We are willing to work and we are working harder. But nearby no, uti dance kafimu we are now be dimpo be ni ho. So I say, until you cannot be happy. Mean to me, me try and kasi bibia ye. The reality is say uti eduma wo year for the whole year. As a whole did dynam 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 14,000. Because I will say
that now can moment as a single room. Normal single room,
self-contained. Then that match utifimwa saying I will be near the actual light bill, at your water bill, at your near market and get your you get it. And the beer swab for. So if you are in this situation, you cannot come and pretend say everything is normal. Yes, nankupon di yenkwache, but I can't yaka. I say 11. I bet time I could 11. Look at the time you close.
Yeah.
You are not a lazy man. I say, but business for free.
You working like a boo.
So I want to jamo. I want to men on Makasa. Oh, I'm not for who TV. You say no movies away. Until you child, Sammy. Course neba na response na nkwa issue
right
Jonathan share white tui ama for officer Kenuforata wa fase right gabu that's the problem issue no zibi sasanya edin anete and let's be realistic yan kind of sudden here na say emwa bi befi baby aba na aba at least journalists be a minimum or say Ghana is a dirty poor country. A dirty poor country. The only way I best of our visit a basic cathedral na Elohim. How we a momo.
We need salvation. Agbesi and then you hurt so much now.
Agbe Shoma Agosi Shoma.
Right.
Agosi
was one of these who pay yes surprise.
Agosi a Shoma. And see, most cabin must say was Sikari never premani.
Was Sikari never premani, and yes, Sikari Yonkuni premani.
Agosi a premani.
Fantastic.
I will see Primani. As you can phone be Nankra Hakwa.
Fantastic.
I say, we.
You're for that, or shall I to sue?
Kaka to me. Now, as you can form more Ghana and Muda, near where you want to win.
You're a study.
As you can form more, would the bev down with the bars and the good bev. So someone you not trap bars back.
Economic situation.
And then I make Sika new.
Yes, yes,
Who was Sika? Agbesiat amasa ye metra ham prezi happy the power na agbesi akoye no voter kwato nya de gitu
let's record obi antimi
untimi una wo ye hwan upato achimota nyina untimi nye
no well guy oya bema you are the boss man you're asadi
I for one function na ye dey magbesi kura ye kan ho ase wo di agbesi besi ha wo kai nwie da nti wo di ba bento aso me nyame ahira me but diet na do dan kokufu ado ne MPP dey atos false diet ona ema sisi a ahokyere no but make up artist no ode yine powder na eye manim no obi sam say na adan say me afunu nyina abubo komusa can say diet no false diet
your formula ben now see 010 or 001
which formula
oh you see according to another Sam Jones say the no diet na formula say anopa woni di no we di awia
me so 001
I say no food morning no food in the afternoon no we di awia
yes did you make dinner you make sure say a table pa wo me yafu nti anopa na bi wo still na you never born no maso because see at the economy ehu and it is important say Ghana ne bia bekasa
okay
and kase etri ho a etibone na yeyiye no yeyi amanache it is important say bekasa
okay mama start a conversation with the message that abakaka na fe yen hyase ye nua Charles nyame wasamanka so say a good leadership is best shown when arise foreseen and unforeseen problems. John Mahama showed leadership when Ghana was affected by the world economic crunch under his tenure. But what do we see under Akufo-Addo Bawumia today? They have only joined us, the citizens, to continue lamenting about our problems. Very unfortunate. Racing, my name is Erica Kubulinu, also watching you live from a year Kokomlimli. Thank you for doing a good job, good work for Mother Ghana. Yeah, that's Papa Erica. Sansu na yenuya bakuda wasi God punish Nana Addo and his entire generation. No, we can't curse president. Good. Also, government want Parliament to approve another $1 billion loan to boost the economy. Even a KG1 student won't think like how our president is thinking. I'm disappointed at his wife, the first lady. Doesn't she advise her husband? Akufo-Addo is too stubborn. He doesn't listen to advice. If you lack common sense and someone is teaching, just do away with your big egos and arrogance. Ghana is like a hell now. The government must go to IMF to seek help because we also pay dues to them as a nation. Ghana must go to IMF. Yenya Case Boy. Edifice Sakumono Estate no de abre. Mama shall come see free era your sunny town honum. To go or not to go. So far, government communicators will share post and more alcoform. The interlabour say already Ghana government is having programs on the IMF and negotiating, but we are waiting for the official announcement from the government. The decisions and pass here and I said that's why it's now as a rumor. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, is again retweeting his call on government to consider going to IMF because baby I don't know, debate me and I said debate me boy. Do you agree? The call say you better call IMF now. Say if government decides say and they call IMF, would that be an indictment on the government performance and for that matter the economic management team?
Now, you see, to go or not to go, I said last week, I can say the spirit and so plus 1 foot of the MPP government is already at the IMF. We are the homobeko, but there's a strategy of use. After the IMF, if there's any thinking that Ken Ofori-Atta will be fired, it will be after they have gone for this loan. No money, there's so money free. And I want to believe, say, it may be the last bailout Ombeko Akwaji IMF in their exiting from government. And me, that is what I see as their strategy.
So you see this government as exiting government?
Yes. Oh, of course. I mean everything, the indicators are clear, you know. And they would make Ken go for the IMF bailout as their last monies that they are taking, where they may get their so-called percentage for the advisors or whatever it is. But I want to say last week, so you can say that tweet now, gov't, it was just to test the waters for us to agitate, speak about it, whether we are in favor or not in favor. But the issue of indictment, because this is a government, or catch the previous administration say, and I'm born into a IMF. And Ghana the mantra of vilifying the previous administration say, you call IMF, that government employ public sector workers for 2 years. And so that conditionalities made the unemployment rate a course. It has been one of the chewing stick. Our more real basis that's room are still more. Sincerely speaking, because of that mantra that they were the people who came to take Ghana out of IMF. And for that matter, there was no way Ghana didn't share IMF. Now, so we have more bonny pa now, more can say, will be able no. I'm more mobile to see. Say now, I'm more that any bonny there. Any meaning any adjective or the become bonny one. A chance I'm more practicing way. Sure. Me jidi ye pass ye nyina ye wo he. And the totality of Ghanaians. Anka obi that green sand and another than Kufuado. Debt to GDP ratio ebeba hit about 84.9. Is
that the current state?
That is it. And the one day where trumpeting said it was bad and we are heading towards epic, it was 56.4 under the previous administration. Right? Which means that you see 84.9, whatever it is, 86.9. It's a kabia ebe kurabia ni nyina no. Ye de mu 86.9, ye de tua ekamo. Nti the aka ye de bebo man ho bra no, just about 14.6. Nti say wodi boni say, look, let me tell you this thing, and I have been citing that example time and again. Emre bi atwa mu DK poison. Oman ho kire no. Aban ekobo bosia fi DK poison ho. Single person. Aban Ghana aban ebo bosia fi DK poison ho. Ene ye de cry money no ma bi money a bromo a ye de hwe Ghana. That was a champion's time there, but I stand to be corrected, but I think a champion's time. And it is very, very critical. And it is easier for Ken Ofori-Atta to borrow Ghana money, I'm telling you. The Adodankwa family and the Ofori-Atta family, they are capable of loaning Ghana money because it's coming in a war. As we speak, enterprise insurance Ken Ofori-Atta we're taking over the state insurance SIC. State institutions ananka SIC wo insure mo. What say SIC no aban dia.
State insurance company.
Exactly. Nti aban cars, aban edan bi mu a ehu hia kese no no. They say University of Ghana ne ho SIC na insure mo. Omo bae no Ken Ofori-Atta enterprise insurance agisa de mani nyina de ama insurance or no insurance company. And say normal insurance company. And yes, it is stated categorically in their Japadia document. Document na a wo a Japan a womb. How na insurance sector no how our banks no mobile be collapsing. na ebra ye bra nyina na bedu babi asa yenko IMF so yenye denyo enam indigenous banking sector and as a financial sector no na do danko ku fado ne kenofrato mbeguye. I've cited this example say Papa Kwesi syndrome ACC banks no matter how small they were to the extent that Ayaraga described the bank as single room banks. Container banks. Everywhere across the country, there was something there of a GN bank. Na omuma loans nkiti omo mpesa omudua bayre, omo mpesa omudua tomatoes, omo mpesa nkiti. Look, me na me ye adwuma wo your friend is saying First Africa Savings and Loans. I what PTC what circle has I know of a former minister. I know what sports. Me person me boni ni ba I'm sure so be abehuno. BBC and the Kofu administration am ayeche no ejeli no something like that. No about beji loan. But the year the queer. And in Kofu no mo ba I was at the accounts department. And Kofu no mo ba savings and loans no be Jessica. That was just one single savings and loans. So. Now what they go over 300 and something. Can you imagine the impact on the economy? Nkrofo mo lose wo modwuma dia dependents. Nkrofo na mo gise loan kitinkiti no e de businesses kitinkiti. What say you are the father of the private sector? Nti wo ba mo no ba show mo kina na nka mo aye adwuma. What they go over 365. Even if all of them are employing only 20 people. With these people also having dependents. And then, Pinua ebi sebe ebi yen stroke ebi so adwuma omunya bibiem kura because adwuma no go fa no he na adwuma yenim sanka se wo ba for the private sector there build them out obi your crop or obi ono the own fan in the mantra say or your private sector you know with the sikashim of course saskan was misapplied nti se what ba the best way is to rebuild them out and put in place monetary and evaluation structures. Set up a management system to manage them. No, I catch them and say, look, we'll still prosecute you for scanner. You misapplied. No, you better prosecute. But new one, you be a new fenchem near the help. More 21 billion Ghana cedis. You re-establish a good bank. No, one require here just about 9 billion. A resuscitating. All these things are factors because it was a shock that drew down the economic pillars of Ghana. We had a sinking fund that was created by the previous administration. We had the Ghana Investment Infrastructure Fund, GIIF, that was created by the previous administration. We had is it Legacy Fund or whatever it is? Heritage Fund. We had oil fund and so. Taxes are Cocoa Stabilization Fund. There were ample funds in it. We chopped all those monies. Into your Shesika borrow both internal and external. About 507 billion Ghana cedis. Yow. Yembisa say, where is a single district hospital you can boast of say? Maybe by any CISA hospital we. You understand? So these were the pruning point of the economic pillars of Ghana. Omba ya dine si ho kuntano no must say so butwa honwe. To sama ade ne sisi ano aye quantum kro na gina ho. Ye hu ba bia yemfa omanis can fa but omanis can so up but you see what is even scary? Wo ba abami esika wo Ghana ha nyina no currency ye wo no 5 cedis 10 cedis 20 cedis what's the same when you know Trabika? One Casam Sucropos had 100 Ghana cedis plus 200 Ghana cedis. I become with Scamu Chino. Mufasua Munya and his canon baby are modified. A wahi. Yow. We are no fiwa. Gold value chain, ne oil no manina. And who sends some million in a it's a capudia or one case, some bracy economics, fundamental, I say pillars, no, about or mandino. One yet. Do you remember? Say, esika nanka a friend is saying gold sector edemayen any other mineral let me even limit it to the oil. Omo publish here areas are omo de a friend say oh yes no aye adwuma. Ena piake for eti omo to gum. Yes omo nam judo mu saa because ade omo say ya ye adwuma we no omo chesi sa oye fan na ya tititi ska no eto na ya tiefi oye na ese ye de ye nnwuma ya specify no ba konkra ni ho no adwuma ye gu ho a ne Charles ne preambles or can rent asem hwesaglemedan egu ho and the next money to use to complete that no about 3 times the monies we have used so called say omwadi no no 3 times if we had finished it earlier say you be 3 times or even 5 times you understand nti we mu nyina wo ka bom a eno na ama economy no abedu ba bi edru ya se se ya ye ho a enye hwe no nti for the IMF me I'm not against it but ya say omo kwa koje aje hu percentage edi omo koje a omo mfesika na nyahwe because they know that they are going if anybody ever thought to say and I say so obi adwuma ye ni se se ya te ha yi say na na dan kokufo ado government no brene 700 billion dollars se ya na so ka so omo de be adwuma papa na wo di agro because they know they are going into there's nothing that will perturb the anase bibia embo mu hu say eneska yakonya de yemfa ye adwuma mama crofo no omo hu atom no they are going
okay.
Into they will even now pinch us more
2 more minutes
into the IMF that we are talking about now we have to go but let me say say the call by the former president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say fire can overrate. In fact, it has been my mantra. Anytime I come here, I talk about that. Any network be a mekosono, I ask and I urge the man not to be reshuffled. Fire him. You understand? Fire him and him go as he said. Well, to me, I near Jumano. But me, young can friend, you know, I need to be a yakuda, a japa, ebe, if you minority. Why the veteran? Arrest my case.
Arrest my case into arrest your case. My main message na me call Uncle Joe. Video about this president has failed us. IMF again. If I listen to his speeches before he became president, I see that he didn't tell us the truth. He said he was coming to help us, but he has rather come to make more money with cronies while he left us in abject poverty. Oh, Akufo-Addo. Moses the Frikason of the Abba was a good evening, boss. It's always great watching your show. With respect to going to IMF, I think if that's the only way in making this government more responsible in their spending, then they should go. Even without IMF, things are already bad and else can happen. We say it's sad. Ghana, Yaya Mobodudu, with a solid economic management team, promised the people of Ghana. Is this the best the NPP can offer? This is not the Kufuor NPP we know. From David D, Edifri, Raviko, Nungwa, and Oriaba. We say IMF is not what we need. Government should stop corruption, reduce drastically expenditure, and block all the tax loopholes. I believe we will just be fine with that. And there was way from a anomaly from Amanyosem de Abba. We say good evening, boss. It's always great watching my home, my cow message. Okay. I mean, so we do it in the Abba. It's good evening, boss. It's always great watching your show with respect to the IMF. Okay, you kofi frukumasi na de buy my cow message in Udina de Abba kofi de frukumasi na de buy. We say I'm Nasei from Kaswa. I think the government going to IMF will be the better solution for we, the ordinary Ghanaians, and it will stop our leaders from chopping our money anyhow. We say good evening. I'm watching you live from Spinters, Ken Soa, and if it's Spinters at the Abba. We say please don't mind Nanado because he is very much aware what his ministers are doing. He is quiet because they are his family members. If Nanado claims to be most experienced in Ghana politics, then he should have known that the downfall of every president is the ministers and all his appointees they listen to. If Nanado wants to change things, then he should come down to the market women and the ordinary people. They can tell him the truth, and he should stop from today listening to all his appointees and his family members. We say good evening. This is Akusia Sexy. I'm watching you live from Ashama na ucha na say we do actually they ashamed. Broni bu akra friend ashamed. Okay. Ti akosia sexy. Me patcho sabre biom na yentio. Uncle Joe. A very prudent decision for government to consider IMF bailout, as the former President John Dramani Mahama is prescribing to the government.
Same mamenchia for mamenchia minyanama omo asisia. Share preamble no. Na historically no. Ya engage IMF for about 65 years. 65 years, It's almost the same age as Ghana since independence.
Yeah,
because about just 6
older.
months, 6 months after independence, then we went to IMF. But Sammy, the fundamental question I say when you say, what is the basis say Yebeko IMF since 1965? 57, sorry. I mean for 65 years. Basically, it is to assist us say Yebe streamline some aspects of our economy. Baby I to mean supporting a year no. We would have support, financial support, economic support to make sure say the economy no bejina. And uko IMF also. IMF is not like a charitable organization. Uko omo bibi omo friend conditionality. Conditionality no menim say na meka wotwi mo. Share. Conditionality no kire say anything na omo de bema obia no. Ombe kire ho say san hihye na eda ho. Beyond that nso ombe ma o atiase say anything, any money they are giving you to streamline your economy, no. It is something that omo fa ma o keke, but omo guide you, and they would also monitor say sika na omo de ma no, so omo say fakoto phone way, fakoto iPad way, and as a tablet way a udi kwa akoto pepe and yes ukoto tablet keke, but to the standard they will prescribe for you. And so omo de be ma all right, but omo this can be ma all right, but make sure you use it for the purpose for which you are going for it. Sami, for 65 years ne, say adebi yemaya by now what we are doing or what we have done for these 55 years now to make sure say we are out of we have gotten a support, and that support ebemaya I get it out of a certain situation for 65 years. If it's good for us, we should be out of it. As we speak today, we are still talking about going to IMF with conditionality. Look, the last time I called IMF was when the biggest one, that's John Mahama government went for IMF about $1 billion loan. And we all saw the conditional, almost right, yeah.
Almost, yeah. Was
right.
900
almost 1 billion, yeah. And we saw the conditionalities attached to this loan. I mean, this became one of the issues. Then opposition and the ruling government, MPP, use say enye. Now, on him, let's call the spade a spade. May believe say, as at the time the opposition party MPP, and then even now MPP, ruling government MPP, was saying, he says, Sadieno enyeno. Then they have an alternative. The alternative is not IMF, because IMF loans no conditionality amodi attach no enya dia eboa o man we.
Conditionalities ne be ne de e be say.
One of the conditionalities is, for example, say freezing public sector jobs and those things. I think the last time we went, that was one of the conditionalities we were made to understand. It was, please. Please. This was one of it.
Okay.
So, if these were some of the conditionalities, for Christ's sake, I think we can do better than that. But the issue is that if the conditionalities for me at any given time, I call IMF no, a be hash for this country. Why do we always want to go for it? In any case, the last time I call IMF no, and I say the last time we talk about IMF, Abanwe Mayetia say, look, it's important say we replace IMF programs with homegrown policies. One of the homegrown policies are to replace IMF program is the e-levy. Just 2 months ago or more, the e-levy was started. We started implementing e-levy. I think Nansenya, one of the leading MPP member, can say the e-levy actually has achieved only 10% of its targeted revenue.
Okay. Mr. Chair, this is what I say. IMF in 2015, Emma Ghana, $918 million to stabilize the economy.
Yeah.
IMF advises with Ghana government develop a 3-part program. Restore debt sustainability. Yeah. The government limit hiring and wages increases.
Okay.
And eliminate subsidies for utilities and petroleum products.
Okay.
So these were the conditions.
These were all the conditions? Yeah. The only 3?
Yeah, 3.
Well, if they were only 3, fine. But the fact is this. Whatever being the case, the conditions that were spelled out, in my estimation, where conditions are amphivia. So say amphivia, we're still going for the conditions, and I say going for loans, and to me, in any case, say, Saskana Oka Wasem Siciano, Salono. If we are gone for the loan, some money no buy. But today, can you tell me what significantly we use those monies for? We can. So Adiana Koye say, for me, Adiana Koye say, most of times, politicians will go for this money because it's easy way of accessing the IMF loans. So when they get the money, the only thing they use it for is to do other things that are not necessarily going to benefit the country. Because this huge money we are talking about $1 billion, I'm yet to know how beneficial it was for the country. And now, as we speak today. And
specifically, and state but we share or say the advisors working as government develop a 3-tier program. Restore debt sustainability. So it's like balance sheet to support the government payment balance sheet to restrict the government. So the projection of the buy and say due to those measures they are taking in place in it. the economy could grow about 8% by 2017. That's what they said.
Those were just figures always that they bang around. But if you have gone for 1 billion, if you have gone for almost 1 billion, I should say, at least $1 billion, I should say, then today we should be able to give out some significant projects, some significant policies. I mean, for which reason Oman Way is still suffering, right? So what I'm saying is that when in the recent times, MPP say we are replacing the IMF program, or they would arrange to replace the IMF program with the e-levy. To the extent that we all understood, say, e-levy bit to me, I raise the necessary funds to replace IMF loan. I was all for it. Because at the end of the day, it's a loan you are going for. Loan which they say, you will go and pay. Sa loan so conditionalities are a loan so no is determined by the person who is given to you. And ukodi 1 billion, for example. Now, nipa no say that 1 billion na be say won fanto smartphones na on chiche ma umay no. You are bound to do that thing because that is a conditionality attached to it. For you to wouldn't very well say sa sikana ukwakojino, that is anase niamana ukwakotono. That is not what your people need. So it's as useless as anything. Say work for a loan to buy anase udibe niama embwa unkrofo. So may sometimes if you look at the conditionalities loans it is to the benefit of the politician, and there's a lazy government that do that if there's a replacement. And that is why for me, when government says that they have identified another source of money, raising revenue to support our economy I was like, let's go for it. Because at the end of the day, or might be a new one. Make us say, or mind for baby develop it. A wo enemy. And it's a bino baby tax you and I. And then at the end of the day, those monies are used judiciously to develop our country. I'm all for it.
What is the outcome?
That is what I'm saying. Say, at the end of the day, say, Bebana say, just for me, I think say, the first thing is, it's too early after 2 months of e-levy for our buying to even start a discussion about going for IMF. Because already 2 months ago or 3 months ago, you bastardized that program that is never on the table and can never be an alternative. So why would you go for it? Why would you go for IMF program? Why would you even in the first place introduce a discussion around it? No, it's no. As a matter of principle. Secondly, it's even too early for
1 minute.
A bank to say this e-levy has failed or is failing.
Okay.
You started e-levy. E-levy took, if I'm not wrong,
April. Shall I say April?
That's it. Almost a year before implementation. The discussion, the controversies, and it's about money. They say, Sika and pen noise.
5 months. Because the e-levy came to the scene November 2021.
Okay. So, even let's say it's about 6 months. The controversy around e-levy alone should tell you, say, when you start implementation, it's not going to be smooth thing. It will have problems. So you can use 2 months to make assessment or do a very good assessment of the e-levy, whether it's failing or not.
Sure.
Right. So if the e-levy has failed after after 1 year, your assessment is that it has failed, then of course, you can come to tell us, say, IMF or any other program is alternative. But if not, forget it.
But okay, say a year looking at the economic situation where President Mahama Beka say unofficial prime minister say we may borrow to pay even government workers. Should the government wait 1 year for it to assess the Sampa e-levy as able to redeem its intended purpose or not before we seek a year economic remedy? I mean, messenger. We see, I see all the advisors of the government as lazy people. They don't think ahead of time. Yet President says he has the men. Which men? Men who can't stand to build a nation. He should rather bring women on board because most women are more intelligent than what the government is working with now. We say thank you for the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. Kamel, Yakubu, Eddie Free, Pick Farm, Mr. Host, your team is the Justice League team. Yeah, that's it. We say Akufo-Addo's government and entire people are so wicked and God will deal with their generation all. We say, hi, Captain Sam. Evening to you all. I say, what's your guest in black said about the MPP and IMF is really the truth. It's really true. They test, or see, they are testing waters whether to go or not. Then, at the end, after they steal all our money, they then bump to IMF. Then they leave power. Ghana, we ought to pray for our land, home base. Spin test on the way free. Say, good evening, Mr. Sami. Finance Minister have to sacked from office. Ishmael Kumasi Nodiaba. We see Parliament want the Finance Minister to account for the COVID money. Let us start the account from the municipal, metropolitan, and district assemblies because they took some donations and monies from companies who donated during the COVID. Where Mr. Tano is always make clear statement like your conversation. Ishmael, Ediflu Kumasi say, should Nanado die tomorrow, I will be the happiest man on earth. No, it won't happen. We see Aziz Mohammed from Cote d'Ivoire. I say why some Ghanaians don't want to accept that our suffering and always telling us that the government is working good. The government is working good. Meanwhile, there's nothing to show us. We say, Nanado can't. I say Nanado cannot provide guns and bulletproof for your police at the roadside, but can provide guns and bulletproof for common legal demonstration. We say I'm Rose from Sprinters Nodiwedi Abba. We say Nana is African Putin, very wicked, no fear of God, yet he wants to build a cathedral. This man, he won't enter heaven at all. That shall not judge. We say, is Kwame Nkrumah punishing Akufo-Addo because of what his father did to Kwame Nkrumah? Yeah, crab boy. And anyway, at the about say, good evening. We say, good evening, boss. Please tell our president to pay NABCO before the so-called you start. We no go do. You don't, or see, you don't know the left, or we don't know the left or right of the NABCO. You start, please. Sorry. You know, they about say, the fair man in white is a big liar, just like Nanado and Baulaya. They have no fear of God in their heart. Was oh Jonathan, such a nice name, but 419 tongue. Are you not ashamed for lying to Ghanaians in national television? We say, yeah, hello, Sami. Hello. We say, hello. My name is Ibrahim Mashawood from Kumasi Moshizongo. I say a very big thanks to those who voted for Nana Addo. After all, we are all passing through the hardship together, and I thank God for not voting for Zacchaeus, the tax collector. God will judge them all. There was from Asamankes was on what locus would the government go to IMF? If they do, then I will be ashamed for the government. You know, I don't know. Charles.
Me can say, I come here a minute before you.
Let's say minutes. Me dey more that.
Oh,
we go 14, we go 15. Charles, to go or not to go? Whose interest will they serve?
Sorry, mami ndawasi, nami nchawa refo. Say by this time, Ghana for Anyamra or Mohe original. My champion for me new machia. Kind of say, hey, are we losing the revenue race? Are we losing it to go to IMF or not to go? So the question is, have we lost the revenue race now? Menye sure see you are losing race no, because as far as I am concerned, government is not admitting that indeed you watch it. What does it? I think there's a government spokesperson about how was it Pargrave? Yeah, he said that Ghana is not doing. We are not suffering. Our economy is not in crisis, and he speaks for government. And I want to take his position. What I say indeed, you will see council going to IMF may not be the option. What I say? Nintia me for to see IMF and they say we are gradually becoming loan addicts. As we are addicted to loans. I didn't see or mind to see Ghana. A year found in 1957. In 1991, your friend the unemployment rate it reduced from 53%. Let me get the figure correct for you. From 53%. It dropped from in 1992 to 21%. 1991, 2012 and my call IMF. The mama dear call IMF in 2015. I say, Jonathan Bisa question: what is the outcome? You call IMF 17 times. I call IMF according to data provided. What are the empiricals? What can we point to? Say IMF are koyi any way amaye any way aba. Nothing to show. Apart from the usual GDP figures and percentage in
economic indices.
But that has nothing to do with the ordinary Ghanaian. And no affect rent. And affect petrol prices. It affects nothing. It only beautify the books. They get it. Books no na emuye fekeke. Asa. But then as timam for the near here yen and say you bet me akwa ye hu be han ye. I mean IMF this is it as simple as ABC. Say okwa kobo busia. Na untimi interest o me ho chime. Usanka me ba wa be pebusia. Me na me di master ma betu anim. So say me ho chime. Mami 100 Ghana, na me mfa so to me ho. We di antisa o. Okwa ono na kire ne awudi sika ne kwa akoye. What I say? You don't have the right to decide what you are going to use the money for. And then conditionalities no. So IMF and a prescribing solution or prescribing a awudi sika ne kwa akoye. Na wa insist awudi sika ne be yes ade no pepepe. But the question is, your problem is your woman abrewe no. Is it an IMF solution problem? No.
Why?
Niama yabedruba biayadri. Lack of policy credibility. Policy uncertainty. Reckless borrowing. Mismanagement. And corruption.
Okay.
IMF does not deal with this ones. IMF ends of mismanagement. Do you get it? Yembisa ye fihi and ye bedru abeya bedri. Sami. How did you get here? Say na Ghana ye dika ye ka ye dinya na ye 9 billion. Meba.
As at
from
2000,
independence 57 embassy tama job atamos
2009.
Na ye 9 billion. Meba. And at your mama be fire. At the time, yeah, at your mama ne atamos or more fisto no. Now a 122 billion.
Yeah.
And now many will say we are almost at 400 billion. A car a day. Loans are yard general. Yeah, besides, I want to say, how did we get here? Then the dear bedruha. Would tell me Penny Jonathan or Casado. Or say Abra now buying criticize NDC for no. Not our alternative. alternative saa brand as do a reckless borrowing me wa it is
yeah,
and that borrow be bobusia na ye ba we will move the economy from Gagisberg economy to what a production economy. Is that not it?
sure.
Enti ane as a sit ye bu ho akonta ampa have we been able to move the economy from Gagisberg economic to production and now then ye produce. Is it generating? Nothing. We have virtually done nothing about it. So I mean, last year, IMF someone might say 2 billion.
Yeah.
COVID
time.
$2 billion. $2 billion. What did we do with it? At that same time, Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, a catch say we're meeting the target. We exceed the target. Now, Omaya who exceed the target. Who exceed the revenue target? You know what that means?
That was last year.
That was last year, but last year it should flow into this year. Last year we are just 6 months into
even
this
2020, almost exceeded.
Almost exceeded. You get it. If you have surplus, what do you do? You spill over. Yes, I it here. If you have surplus, it spills over
it's
into
not
the
easy like calculation now.
You see, yeah, but we need to demystify the mystery of some of these communications for the ordinary person watching
the indigenous Ghanaian.
Yeah, to be able to understand. The fact is that Abansi and our Ghana Revenue Authority on the year, Ojiji Abansi Kanyina man or Babu Abansi Kano. Or see a buying target in the share with the two was Sikana and need also bet me ageno. Ya nyam anabroso. What I say? That's 2021. Sabrina na IMF we are am I $2 billion. It means sounds ye dear then. What do we use that for? And say ya ndwe hu say ochina ewo ho. So mismanagement na make no. No. So
that 2 billion when the convertible cedis is about 60, it's over 16 billion Ghana cedis.
Ya mismanage ya ndwe hu so ochina wo ho. Na from Tiho down to no. Esi DBC. Na ya dwen kwan ye be fa so ape bia ka ho no. Ya nya ne sa. Ena ye ne basa. Ye say sa sika no. Eho akuntabu kra be ye de amaye. Ena na make no. Ena na ye problem aye wo. Mismanagement of that scanty resources aye wo. So I mean Ghana ye tiwe this country called Ghana ye 30 million plus no. 30 million country of just 30 million population. You export gold, you export coffee, you export rubber, you export timber, you export bauxite. What don't we export in this country?
You export oil.
You export oil.
At the point to cry export electricity.
Yeah, that's what export because into your tea high, you fast one day. Or may I was sad when you know. Why must we be going to IMF instead of say and IMF beba yen chabe baby? And now many will say, when you say Ukraine, the first ship of foodstuff of Ukraine, or more export too. They have started exporting again. Yeah, today I'm telling you, you can check. Ukraine was shall say exported the first ship of export has left Ukraine today. Ukraine, the war-torn Ukraine is exporting food, wheat. We are crying, say, Russia, Ukraine. I say, a leadership crisis in the war. We just need people to think. It is unfortunate, say, yes, the president may have vision, but unfortunately, a man for a while assemble so some of them are not helping. A typical finance minister. A typical example, a finance minister, but the reality is that the fact must be told bare. You see a can of crane not say, he seems not to know what he's doing. It's as simple as SBC. Clear him, let him go stay home. If you don't want him to stay home, elevate him, make him a minister of state. at the Jubilee House. Yes, sir. Get somebody who is competent, somebody who is smarter, somebody who understands and appreciates the situations. So I mean, at the end, you gold refinery in Ghana. Why can't we refine gold in this country? Why can't we deal with cocoa, add value to the cocoa here? When we are starting, you export cocoa now raw, a bar,
chocolate.
Near tax also. When we are exporting, we want the free zone, so these things go free.
Just say chocolate factories were have about 2 percentage or more produce were na underutilized.
Sana, any strategy. These are strategies. They will create it here. A strategy, a formula. No, see you be what.
2 more minutes.
You miss who say, "Okay, GDP. Ghanaians don't control our GDP. The GDP of this country is in the hands of foreigners. Entisikana and Ghana. I am not by this saying foreign investors in this country is not good. Ufa telecoms now, MTN in Asifo, send Ghana for company. Intino or making revenue now, come back. They repatriate it. Let's go to the oil sector. Omu mekisikana, come back.
Hello, oil.
Let's take the other side of it.
Good mines.
That is the problem. The problem is that the indigenous Ghanaian
banking sector
is controlled by foreigners because Ghana for the Yaguni. That is the problem we have. So we must look at here. The solutions are here. Solution ni wo ha IMF aye ko ni IMF omo director no want VAT mu abi aye ko the overall boss no only Toyota Land Cruiser VAT until Lexus mu. That is the problem. On mind to see Ghana, why must our ministers in Accra be driving V8? Why must MP ufi a parliamentar VAT? Look at the consumption. Now, man for motive, almost a number is 1,008, 2,000.
Yeah, a week.
To be able to fill the tank.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your cars and the consumption is lower. Metiases anka ufi a kotamalia, you will need such a car, a robust car, because of your safety and whatever. But say ufi one cry a copper, you don't need that. This is what we need to be doing as a country. A buyer must decide at least can come my cars. What I say? Can come my cars? Not MP. That is young fantastic agencies, government agencies. What's that? And what a carbon woe.
Okay.
That is the problem. And where you kwakoji, who the upper young IMF? You kwaji the abetuaka. You IMF now can't who come and still use it to pay. Meanwhile, we have solutions. Ya sasi ya daho yentimi no. Agric. You was sasi.
You are still sitting on money.
Well, that is the point.
That
is the point. They are not thinking. Both sides, all angles. I doing new hope because I was expecting some to send this if we can. So you back saying you be see, let me disagree with former President John Dramani Mahama.
In 1 minute.
When he said, Yempam Kenoforiata. And this is for omu approval Kenoforiata. The second coming. What was the reason they gave? That omu penisa se Kenunko because one yeduma the first 4 years. It omu penisa onko nisa onko ye ne Messi, onko ye ne Melkia, onko Madi Waters ne mom. Yes, anomukai. So why are you calling for his head? Because you want him to mess the country up. And that was why you reappointed, that was why you gave him an overwhelming endorsement at the committee level. You are now calling say when we say no, this man doesn't need to come back again. Vote against him at the committee level. You went and then you can't say unanimously endorsed him. You say yes. For you to come. He's making it up. Assuming he's Ghana for your man now. What will make some critique? You are part of it.
Okay. I mean, can message you a kanseki say, on what locus would the government go to IMF? If they do, then I'll be ashamed of this government. Okay. We say, good evening, Mr. Host. Voting for Akufo-Addo government is the biggest mistake I've ever done in my life. Never again will I do such a mistake. This government has got nothing to offer Ghanaians. Ibrahim Edifri Asin Koforidua. And they Asin Akrufum. And they about we say Nanado know what, or say Nanado knows what it is to go to IMF. They will let him sack Ken Oforiatta. And if they sack Ken Oforiatta, we will steal for them. Two messages I say. We say, please, good evening, Sammy. Upon all the monies Nanado has borrowed, what has he used it for? All that we Ghanaians can see that he used the money to borrow is one, he borrowed all, or he brought all his family members to the presidency and they loot and share. 2, he spent some of the National Cathedral, he spent some on the National Cathedral, which Ghanaians have not asked him to build. 3, and he used the rest to bath in the air over us. And the Abba. We say, now, please, Sammy, Parliament should not make mistake to allow this loot and share government to go to IMF for any loan because they won't use it for anything. And Nanado said, yet it's Sikaso, Nanso comedy. So where is the money? He said we are sitting on. Shame on them. Mike here, Edifra Blikuma. We say, please, Jonathan, don't raise any issue on e-levy because it was established to enrich some group of liars, and you know it. We say, the man in white don't know what he's saying. We say, Sammy, good evening to you and your panelists, especially McCarthy. Please, let Jonathan bear in mind that Muhammad's IMF bailout has given birth to Terminal 3, University of Lagos Medical School, E-Blocks, Rage Hospital, Expansion, Accra Digital Center, Maritime Hospital, Interchanges, Cocoa Roads, Railway, Commander Sugar Factory, Ameri Power, Turbo Gas, that's Ghana Gas, etc. Ask Jonathan to mention just one benefit of homegrown policy of lazy Akufo-Addo government. Just one thing. I'm Geshen from Olebu Anode Abba. What he said, the truth is that Nanado is there for revenge. Nothing good for him. We say, is it prudent to situate urinal in the middle of the road? Nanado, or Ponkroma, Ken Oforiatta, Transport Minister, you are the reason why the white people call us monkeys. We say, good evening, General. Please help me to ask Akufo-Addo that what did he see that makes him say, yet is Sikaso Nenso Ekomdi. Now, we'll be saying that Sikan our hen, ye near Emmanuel de Free, Spinters from the Abba. We say, please, I may tell the man in white that IMF will never tell you or IMF will never tell you or show to use how to use your money or unprofitable things. Samson is my name from Wajanode Abba. We say, Mr. Jonathan, why can't you say the truth? You are a nice man. Stop lying, okay? Lies can't help you. I respond, Samson from Upper Wajanode Abba. Say, hey, Ghana, yeah, blow. Kofidi Frikumase. We say Akufo-Addo has this type of police officers. Why can't he send them to go and stop Russia and Ukraine war for our economy to be stable? I'm Lord, famous, and anyway, Eddie Abba.